Dear Dhamma friends, we are going to start another common interview. As usual, we'll start with the already written questions with the open invitation. If there are any questions to be raised, please welcome.
Dear Bhante, when my mind was in the void over a period of time, I was so happy. At this point, I imagined or saw something like a blue light, which is difficult to describe. It was very beautiful, and I really enjoyed being there. After I got up, my mindfulness was very sharp. What was this experience? Please tell me, Bhante, with metta.
You can say a good experience. So if it is so, please repeat it so that you can go and abide by again and again. So you have your own free choice. If this is something you feel like less and less frustration, less and less tension, less and less torturing and burning, and you are the very person knew the way to go into that. And you are the very person know how to get back to the situation again and again on common sense or as a general guidelines. You can it can be mentioned. Slowly you will understand the conducive factors or proximate causes for that to happen again and again. So it is nothing like trying. Keep on fighting. Keep on doing trial and error, and that each and every effort, whether it's a success or failure, it's praiseworthy.
Dear Bhante, despite being 7 days to the retreat and trying really hard, I have not made much progress. When I listen to the others' progress in question and answer sessions, I feel very disheartened. Perhaps I don't have karmic practice. There are some who take to meditation like duck to water. Please advise me. I really am very frustrated. Many thanks.
So more than anyone, that particular person has realized the truth of suffering. That yet to appreciate it. Others appear like very happy and away from the fruit of suffering. This particular person is so close, but still find it very sour. It's a very disheartening. So it's a matter of time. One day you will understand. That is what you call the utter truth of suffering under your very nose. But still you fail to understand it. So what is the remedy? It's a matter of time. Then one day you also will be a duck.
Most Reverend Bhante, in Anapanasati meditation, when the breath becomes completely unperceivable, the other three elements start making their presence felt. Reverend Bhante, is it correct to ignore those signs and keep the attention in the spot where the breath was felt? Now, voidness with metta.
So that is the holographic understanding. That means each and every single point represents the whole picture. So now you have given a conscious attention to one particular element, maybe air element or earth element. When and where you see through it, even though they represent and the air element, water element, fire element individually different characteristics, but commonly they are also having this nature or having this fate just like the element. If you observe it, you can see through it, and it is also leading to whiteness. It is also leading to endless space. So therefore there you have to use a deductive knowledge. If it is so, that also so. So that deductive knowledge, some people are very skillful in application, some need some guidance. If you are being taught, then it is for 20%, that means 20 per 100, easily you may say 40 for 200. Easily you may say understand 60 for 300. That is exactly the formula. So this is mathematics. That deductive knowledge is just mathematics. And if it is not so, if it is mind is disturbed, if it's entertaining doubts, just be aware. Now you have done away with one particular element and the other elements are still playing. Select the next prominent one and then pay attention. That also will end up with the same fate. But if you have the confidence, if you have the deductive knowledge, without doing a repetitive experiment, you may arrive at a conclusion. But even if you do yourself experimenting, it is not a wastage of time. More and more you do trial and error and get more and more experience, you will be a best teacher to teach others. So best teachers, best tuition masters in the Sri Lanka today are those people who failed in their exam and done it in 1001 times. Still they are failing, but they are very good masters, teaching others, because they know what are the type of questions that can happen, and who are the people making question papers, and what are the ways they are giving marks, all the kinds of. But that particular person will be a good master, never go through the exam. So each and every failure is adding to the external service, society at large.
Dear Bhante, you mentioned the ego today. I am a little confused about what the ego is. Is it the representation of my materiality? Kindly explain. In Metta.
So if you take a whirlpool, that's a center. That center is sucking everything. That is the center of the whole phenomena, and it is basically centrifugal point, centrifugal force. And if you observe the outside of the whirlpool, that's a centripetal force. They are equal each other. So when such a big dynamism happens, either electromagnetic field or centrifugal forces are developing. What is concentrating to the center and sucking, adding everything, all the dirt, bringing to the middle, that is what you call centrifugal. So whenever we are very dynamic in the life, when we are interacting with the external world, this kind of agglomeration happen. It is not a permanent, it's a then and there, but we recognize this as permanent. When and where you misrecognize this as permanent, pleasurable, and under control, then you become egoistic. If you understand there's a kind of two forces are there, and you are ignorant about the centrifuges and only concerned about the centrifugal, and you think it is permanent, it is pleasurable, it is permanent, under control, governable, this is what the misconception is. That very misconception is separate from other misconception that is called sakkaya ditthi or egoistic or self-based I-ness.
Venerable Bhante, with Anapanasati Samadhi, I kept my mind to the body and I felt only the feeling of a kaya, danimak pamanai, without a rupa. And I could go on staying with that feeling, which was very soothing. Please explain with metta.
So that is the same phenomena you can see from the materialistic point of view, the corporeality, the matter. And the same thing have different facet, feelings. Same thing you can perceive, this is me, this is not me, like perception wise. And sometimes you may consider this part I can control, I can change, I can add something. That is your volitional involvement. And the consciousness says this is me, this is not me, discrimination. So in a meditation, when and where the mindfulness and the concentration come align, then at a time you recognize the materiality, at time you can't experience the feelings. When and where you are experience the feeling, that time you can't experience the matter. When and where you feeling the same thing from the perception point of view, you can't feel the feeling and the matter or any other thing. Likewise, one facet domineering the others. So therefore, each day, or experience by experience, day by day, you are seeing the same thing from the different point of view, different perspective. So once you see all the five facets, then only if you are sharp enough and the quick wit, you will understand these are the different perspective of the same thing. But theoretically it is proven you can't see all the facets at a given time. Everything appear like integrated only in the deductive knowledge. When and where the direct touch is concerned, at a time, one donkey at a time. And the deductive knowledge put everything into the configuration and say it's a five facet. These are the different facets, and they are. That is the way we communicate with others.
Dear Bhante, can I do walking meditation whilst concentrating my mind on in and out breath? Kindly clarify with metta.
As far as you know, you are in walking, you are not sitting, and your main object is touch of the soul on the ground, and you can keep in breath and out breath as another guideline. But don't forget, don't try to breath to overcome or dominate the touch of the ground. Then you are Bombay looking Calcutta, that you are in off the track. So therefore, first thing first. Other thing consider as a gift, as an endowment, but don't put the cart before the horse. Then you are confusing yourselves. Keep the meditations as simple as possible, as straight as possible. Mind is playing all the juggleries. Whenever you are focusing attention on breath, it says rising and falling is very clear. Why don't you go to the rising and falling? Whenever it goes rising and falling, it says, what nonsense you have done. The in-breath and out-breath is good. And when you are sitting, it says, why don't you go and walk? It is very simple, open air, go. And when you go to the walk, it says, now Anapani is very prominent. So this is what you call the cheating mind. And don't claim this is me. Don't claim this is my mistake. This is what it is. So therefore you have to interpret terms and condition. First thing first. That's called the priority selection. Till you learn little bit of this cheating nature, perverted nature, fix it. And some people find very difficult to adhere to that first thing first, or systematic or gradual order. They try to keep everything floating, then no start.
This is the last question. Dear Bhante, can the females also have kutis to meditate?
Kutis?
This may help to progress in their meditation, in gratitude.
I don't see any progress in the males by using kutis, as males are also playing fool. In the kutis they go and sleep. Of course, this is no problem. The organizing kutis, it may not be in the Nissarana Vanaya constitution. Kutis available. No problem. If anyone interested in, please write to me or write to some of the organizers, I can find. But the only thing is, don't go there and fight. Whenever the female goes, so much of fighting. So I am still happy because I am born into a family. I have half a dozen of sisters. So I am very familiar with, but still we have enough kutis available. And of course wherever you go, more and more rules and regulations as far as you are going to be. It is like asking for PR, permanent residence, so they have to apply not only the temporary visa or short-term business visa. So we are asking for PR, so a lot of questions are there, but available. No problem. Okay, now we have taken only 15 minutes. Can we expect any more questions, or shall we sum up the question and answer or common interviews? So the silence indicates no more question. That is a real progress. Less and less questions. So with that remark, we are going to sum up. Thank you very much for the participation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.